I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch network. Donald Trump is so completely terrified of Special Counsel Jack Smith's ongoing criminal case and criminal investigations, and we see it because Donald Trump just goes on his social media platform, puts in all capital letters these deranged statements that make absolutely no sense, and he's playing to the most dangerous parts of the Republican Party, which has now taken over the Republican Party. It's now full-fledged QAnon, and they just promote it like it's normal. It's not normal, and we got to call it out here on the MeidasTouch network, and media needs to call it out in general. But not only call it out, but compare it to normalcy. One of the things that we do here on the MeidasTouch network now is we don't just show you Donald Trump's post where it shows how desperate and terrified and vile and deranged and weird and a fascist wannabe that he is. We compare it to what is President Biden talking about? What are the issues that matter to most Americans? And we do that comparison. So let's start off with Trump's post here. Donald Trump, in all caps, this is how he starts the day. He goes, "If I'm being prosecuted over documents and I shouldn't be in that I come under the Presidential Records Act, why is Joe Biden not being prosecuted? He was egregious." By the way, he can't even put together a sentence right there. It's all in caps, barely comprehensible. But as Special Counsel Jack Smith pointed out in the filing to Judge Eileen Cannon, Donald Trump's entire argument about the Presidential Records Act borders on frivolous, and Jack Smith was being nice when he put that in the motion to Judge Eileen Cannon. It's totally frivolous, and as Jack Smith pointed out, the Presidential Records Act is not a criminal statute. It doesn't authorize or enable former presidents to steal classified records that don't belong to you and top secret and sensitive compartmented information, and it certainly doesn't authorize you to just start showing it to random strangers and saying, "Here, take a look at these classified records. Doesn't this make me cool? Doesn't this make me better than the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley?" Which is actually what Donald Trump did. Espionage Act, obstruction of justice, making false statements, conspiracy. Those are criminal statutes. And I know Donald Trump talks about, the Sox case, the precedent of the Sox case. He's relying on the advice of a guy named Tom Fitton, who's not even a lawyer. It's a MAGA Republican trait right there, right? Put Jim Jordan, who's not a licensed attorney, who's never passed the bar exam, let him chair the Judiciary Committee, the most important kind of legal committee in the House of Representatives. Let's give it to an unlicensed lawyer. And who should Donald Trump listen to? Tom Fitton, who's not even a lawyer, who runs an organization called Judicial Watch, which files, in my opinion, just these bogus cases. Like this case Fitton filed in 2011 or 2012 against Bill Clinton, against former President Bill Clinton. Technically, it was against the National Archives, but it was a lawsuit seeking injunctive relief, compelling the National Archives to compel former President Bill Clinton to turn over Bill Clinton's personal notes from like 1999 that President Bill Clinton used for his autobiography. Personal notes, Bill Clinton's personal autobiography. The federal judge, Judge Amy Berman Jackson, laughed Tom Fitton out of court and said, "I don't have jurisdiction over this stupid case. Who are you, Tom Fitton, to compel the National Archives to do anything? And also, not only do I not have jurisdiction, but these are personal notes for a personal autobiography. This isn't President Bill Clinton stealing classified records. This isn't President Bill Clinton stealing sensitive compartmented information. No, to the contrary, personal records, personal notes." And then Donald Trump goes, this is precedent. District court opinions are not precedent in general. The most basic thing about it. District court decisions are not. They pretend they potentially are persuasive authority. maybe before the same judge or a judge in the same district, maybe persuasive authority, but circuit court decisions and Supreme Court decisions, that's what sets actual precedent. And if the Sox case were to be persuasive authority, it would be persuasive authority that cuts against Donald Trump, because Donald Trump didn't take personal notes for a personal autobiography. He took classified information. And yes, I see right above Donald Trump's post a QAnon promotion from the Trump Team 2024. They're selling shirts with Donald Trump's signature on it for QAnon. QAnon, a death cult. That's Donald Trump's signature on a shirt for where we go one, we go all, promoting QAnon. I don't know why large media networks give him a pass that he constantly promotes a death cult. And as I've said before, if President Biden just once made a QAnon post, just once, for all of the things I support about President Biden, I would no longer support him. I'd be like, we need a new candidate, because he's clearly deranged if he's posting a death cult. Why? Because we have to have standards. This isn't a joke. This isn't a game. This isn't funny. This isn't WWE wrestling. No, this is life or death stuff. And Donald Trump's out there promoting QAnon death cult on his social media app with Q logos and his signature below it. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. It is disqualifying. It is disgusting. There's no other way to say it. It is disgusting. Here's his next post where he lies, way ahead of Biden and all Republicans in the polls. Thank you. That's simply not true with respect to President Biden. Here, Donald Trump reposts an account that's called Great Awakening Jesus with a cross next to it. And the post is attacking rhinos, Republicans in name only, and attacking the FBI and the Department of Justice. And it says, is it just me, or does it seem the main purpose of the FBI is to hide evidence for Democrats? And then the reply is yes and rhinos, but it's spelled like a rhinoceros, which is not how you spell it. It's Republican in name only. But Donald Trump posts that and brags about that, and that's the messaging that he puts out there. Okay, Donald Trump appointed the FBI director. Okay, Christopher Wray is a Republican who Donald Trump appointed. Okay, the FBI is not doing the bidding of the Biden administration. A Republican appointed by Donald Trump. It's just that Donald Trump and everybody who he surrounds himself with constantly commit crimes. So the FBI investigates crimes. But just think about their constant attack on the FBI. Here's the next post. Donald Trump likes posting from this account, Great Awakening Jesus. He reposts, it says, President Trump visited the nations. He has major relationships across the world and talks peace, not war. I pray for his protection and direction from God all the time, especially at such a time as this. Thank you, God. This is the type of thing that Donald Trump is reposting. And he visited the nations. What's the nations? Number one. And number two, he uses this biblical, authoritarian, Kim Jong-un like language. And then he reposts this again, someone who says Trump won, just stupid posts that I'm not even going to cover. But I want to compare, and then he goes, the greatest witch hunt of all time, prosecutorial misconduct, exclamation point. Now, compare all of that nonsense, that dangerous rhetoric, that deranged wording. Compare it with what President Biden is talking about. Here's a photo of President Biden taking a photograph with small business owners saying, we've seen over 10.5 million new applications from small businesses, the highest 2 years on record. That's a small business boom. Let's keep it going. President Biden also writes, in my White House, labor will always be welcome. President Biden also writes, trickle-down economics meant slashing public investment in technologies that helped America lead the world in innovation. We used to invest 2% of our entire gross domestic product in research and development. Now it's 0.7. Under Bidenomics, we're turning that around. Thank you. Talking about jobs and small businesses and our economy. Yes, that's what I want to hear from a leader, from a government official. Not a witch hunt and QAnon shirts and the FBI hates me, even though I appointed the FBI director. And finally, President Biden saying, my administration is committed to constructing a 21st century rail system. Tangible things as it relates to the infrastructure. Look, if you watch this video and you go, you know what? The first guy, Trump, who talks about QAnon death cults and witch hunts and posts things about rhinoceroses thinking it's Republican. If you think that's it, that's deeply problematic. You need to really look inside a mirror and reflect on what that says about you. Because here in America, I care about people who care about you, who want to focus on your jobs and working conditions and healthcare and veterans and seniors and students and small businesses and working conditions and lowering prescription drug prices and protecting equality and protecting a woman's right to control her body. That I want a president and leaders who focus on real things, real issues. That's why it's important that we have these comparisons, why it's critical. Leave a comment below. Share this video. Here, do me this favor. In the comment section below on YouTube, let me know who you've shared these videos with. Tell me some stories about people who you've shared MeidasTouch videos with and how they've let other people know about MeidasTouch and how it's impacted them. Let's share how we could use these videos strategically, and let's all have a conversation in the comment section below. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, patreon.com/MeidasTouch. Wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast as well. Have a fantastic day. Thank you so much. Hit subscribe. It's free to subscribe on YouTube. Hit it. Thanks. See you later.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.